Looking inside the Atlanta Hawks locker room as they're getting ready to prepare for their game against the Indiana Pacers. Coming to you from the Gainbridge Fieldhouse here in Indianapolis, Indiana, we have the aforementioned Atlanta Hawks traveling to Indianapolis to take on the defending Eastern Conference champion, the Indiana Pacers. Hawks coming into this game at a record of 28-22 as we look at Onyeka Okongwu shooting 53% this season, 66% in the last 5 games. We see the Hawks coming in at 28-22. Leaders of the Southeast Division, third in the Eastern Conference. We look at the starting lineups: Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Risauge, Jalen Johnson, and Kristaps Porzingis. You see Quinn Snyder in his 4th season with the Hawks. And for the Pacers at 25-23, 4th in the Central Division. 7th in the East, we got McConnell, Nembhard, Nesmith, Siakam, and Isaiah Jackson. As the tip has been won, Trae Young has it for the Hawks. Hawks are 2-1 in watched games, while the Pacers are 1-2. As Young hits for 3, that is no good. The calendar date for this game is Saturday, January 31st, 2026, which means tomorrow's video for the season playthrough will be going through full detail of updated stats, standings. At least we're going to look at the top 10 the big categories for each category between players and teams for the statistics, as well as monthly awards and also the All-Star voting as well. We're going to go through that, and then don't forget we go through the full standings as well, as both teams have traded buckets here. It's 2-2 right now, 1 minute into the game. Look at that big pass, Isaiah Jackson. Jackson will miss that one as Porzingis will grab the rebound. Risauge has it for the Hawks. Back over to Risauge. Dishes it over to Daniels. Daniels is coming around. Dyson Daniels. And he gives the Hawks their first lead of the game. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you are new to this channel and like what you see here. This is the NBA season playthrough. You see Siakam, he misses that one. Porzingis will get the rebound there as you see Trae Young with it. This is a season playthrough where we play one game for every first couple of schedule, like we have schedule blocks. We're in the middle of schedule block number 3. Before the end of the week, by the time, if I keep up with this on Sunday, we'll head to the All-Star break. It'll be the last game before the All-Star break. This is actually the last watch game of 2025, by the way, because this will be out on December 30th. And as I said, tomorrow's video will be going over the updated leaders statistics award. Yeah, and by the way, we're going through season awards now, or award races. They have those out, as well as the All-Star voting. As you see, there's a 3. That was Jalen Johnson, I believe, with the 3. And it's a 9-2 Hawks lead. But for those who are unfamiliar with this, what I do see Nembhard for 3. He nails it! That ends a 9-0 run by the Hawks. But what I'm talking about for the season playthrough is the first 2 schedule blocks. You see Trae Young for 3. That is off the iron. Nembhard with the rebound. The first 2 schedule blocks were random games where every team was at least shown at least once. Some were shown twice or 3 times. See Dyson Daniels with the slam dunk. Trae Young with the assist. And the Hawks up by 6. Well, I did those for every 2 to 3 days. I think during the NBA, because I did not have the NBA Cup. You see Isaiah Jackson with the slam dunk. I did not do the NBA Cup. I think that's a useless thing. That's just me, though. I see Trae Young for 3. That's off the iron. So there were some days where during schedule block number 2, we went like 4 days between games because of the gaps and stuff. There's a 3-pointer attempt. That is no good. Jalen Johnson grabbing the rebound here over 4 minutes into this game. 11-7 Hawks on top. But after the second schedule block, we're in the middle of schedule block number 3 where I do random games. However, not every team's going to be shown, and these are guaranteed 3 days between games. 3 calendar days between games, so I'm trying to fast track it to the All-Star weekend. And as I said, if I can keep up, as you see, Trae Young with the layup, that is good. If I can keep up with this schedule by this upcoming Sunday, as this game is out on a Tuesday, the 30th, or Tuesday the 30th, I think Sunday, January 4th, as you see, there's a three-pointer there. Pascal Siakam averaging 22.6 points and 4.2 assists here at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. But as I said, Sunday's game, which will be out at 10 a.m. Eastern, because, of course, I want to get those out before Week 18 of the NFL games start, as there's a three-point attempt. And it's back up to a 6-point lead. Look at Siakam. Siakam with a bucket there. The entire season, though, Pascal Siakam is averaging just a shade under 24 points a game. So, as I mentioned, by the end of Sunday, January 4th, will be the last game before the All-Star week. Not sure when I'm going to get the All-Star games out, because I am going to be doing the Rising Stars Challenge, as well as I'm going to be recording the Slam Dunk Contest and the three-point competition. So you'll have those skills competition out as well, and then the NBA All-Star game. Because why not? Trae Young for 3. He nails it. It's a 7-point Hawks lead. I believe that ties their largest of the game here. 21-14, Hawks on top. Over 6.5 minutes, actually now under 5.5 to play in the first. Nembhard is the back over to Jackson. McConnell has it. Over to Nembhard. Nembhard to Isaiah Jackson. Jackson on top. That's no good off the back iron. So that is as far as the season goes. As I said, I'm not sure when I'm going to get to the All-Star festivities because I still have College Football 26 content to come out. You see Johnson for 3. He nails it. It's a 10-point lead for the Hawks here. McConnell with it. Dishing it over to Siakam. You see Siakam for 3. That is off the back iron. Dyson Daniels with the rebound. Johnson has it for the Hawks. Dish it over to Reece Auger. There it's in. Reece Auger with the three-pointer there. It's a 13-point lead for the Hawks. 4:10 to play here in the first quarter. 27-14 Atlanta on top. They have been a little bit dominating right now. Pascal Siakam misses that. Trae Young with the bucket. I believe the only lead the Pacers have had so far was 2-0. There's Dyson Daniels for 3. That is off the iron. Isaiah Jackson with it. Pascal Siakam. He's coming through. They should have back over to Isaiah Jackson. 3.5 to play here in the first. Siakam with it. Coming around. Siakam getting the shot up. That is good. Pacers within 11. But as I mentioned, though, College Football 26 content will be out. We had 2 games last night for my simulation for the actual 12-team College Football Playoff quarterfinals. We had as Porzingis, wow, gets through and he Hawks up by 13. So we had 2 games yesterday. And we'll have 2 more today. Yesterday we had the Cotton Bowl, which was going to start things off in the quarterfinal round on New Year's Eve. That would be tomorrow in real life. And then, of course, the first game, the Orange Bowl of the New Year's Day slate of games. Jackson's coming around. That's a layup that's good as Reece Auger will inbound it to Trae Young. 2.5 here in the first. An 11-point lead for the Hawks. Reece Auger handed it over to Young. Young shoots a 3. That is off the back iron. Porzingis will get the offensive rebound and the putback. Hawks up by 13 again. Timeout, Indiana. I believe that is the first timeout of the game. We're going to take a timeout as well. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. As we're coming out of timeout, as I mentioned, for my college football 26 content, I do 2 different projects. I do season simulations, and as I said, right now, last night I did 2 of the quarterfinal, the actual 12-team quarterfinal playoff games featuring the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl. And then later today at 3 p.m. Eastern, maybe 3:30 p.m. Eastern, depending on how this game turns out, you see Siakam for 3. That is off the back iron. Okongwu will get the rebound. Trey Young has it for the... As we see Johnson with it again. Johnson with the bucket. That is good. It's a 15-point lead for the Hawks. Luke Kennard has the assist there. So 3 or 3:30 p.m. Eastern, we're on the Rose Bowl game between Alabama and Indiana. That should be a real fun one. Ty Simpson versus Fernando Mendoza. Siakam's coming around the layup. That is good, and the Pacers within 13. Siakam has 13, while the rest of the team has 7. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern, we will have the Sugar Bowl featuring Ole Miss. Oh! That's a 3-pointer there, and the Hawks leading it by 16. We will have, later at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight, will be the final quarterfinal simulation, and that will be feature Ole Miss and Georgia. Ole Miss looking to avenge there. You see Isaiah Jackson coming around with the bucket. Siakam, I believe they said, had the assist there. Ole Miss looking to try to avenge that loss. Their only loss to Georgia is a reach-in foul called against Isaiah Jackson here. More substitutions coming in for both teams. Let's see. Alexander Walker, I know, is into the game for the... We got Obi Toppin Huff into the game for the Pacers. As I said, kind of hard to see who the substitutions are. You see Kennard for 3. That is off the iron. Huff will get the rebound. See Shepard with it for the Pacers. Dishing it over to Jones. Jones for 3. He nails it! 36-25. Shot clock is turned off. If you're enjoying what you're liking so far, again, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do come out. I see a miss there by Kennard, and that will do it. We're at the end of the first quarter. It's been a very dominant effort right now by the Atlanta Hawks. They lead the Pacers 36-25. We'll be back. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. Getting ready to start the second quarter here. The Pacers trailing by 11. They're inbounding. I believe that's Quentin Jackson that has the ball for the Pacers. Back over to Mathurin. Mathurin's coming around. Dishing over to Obi Toppin with a dunk. That is worthy enough for the AT&T connected cam. And the Pacers are within 9. Scored the first quarter's final 5 points of the first quarter. As you can see, the Pacer lineup of Quentin, Shepard, Huff, Mathurin, and Toppin. Kennard, Alexander Walker, and Okongwu. And that's a miss right there. Huff will grab the rebound off that back iron. Mathurin coming around. As I said, Pacers scored the final 5 points of the first quarter. And now scored the first 2 points of the second. Mathurin deep 2. That is off the iron. Okongwu will get the rebound. Alexander Walker with it for the Hawks. Kennard for 3. He nails it. And the Hawks lead is back up to double digits. The largest lead was 16 points. But as you saw, the Pacers brought it to within 9 just a few minutes ago before that three-pointer by Kennard to bring their lead up to 12 again. Mathurin over to Huff. Huff's coming around. That is in. Brings the Pacers to within 10 here. 10.5 to play until halftime. Okongwu with it, dishing it back over to Kennard. Kennard There's Krejci that had it for a second. Alexander Walker with it. Guy is also out on the court. Alexander Walker, that was with the 3, and it's a 13-point lead for the Hawks as we're approaching 2 minutes into the second quarter. The Hawks leading the Southeast Division, 3rd in the East. You see Quentin Jackson for 3. That is off the iron. Nikhil Alexander Walker will grab the rebound. Hawks out-rebound the Pacers 13-7 right now. Alexander Walker for another 3. That is off the back iron. Shepard grabbing the rebound. Shepard coming through. Dishes it over to Mathurin. Mathurin for 3. That is off the iron. Alexander Walker will grab the rebound. Over to Krejci. Back over to Okongwu. Kennard with it. And Kennard, count it! He's going to go to the line for a 3-point opportunity here. Quentin Jackson called for the first foul, and the Hawks will call a timeout. 9:09 to play in the second. You're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. As we return from the timeout here, we look at the league leaders in field goal percentages in the last 30 days. The Pacers tops in the NBA, 53.5. As I said, the Hawks are going to the line with Luke Kennard and one opportunity here. A chance to put his team on top by 16 again, matching the largest lead. And he does exactly that, completing the 3-point play as Neesmith will inbound it to McConnell. Starters back into the game for some of the starters, say for both teams back into the game. You see TJ McConnell here over 3 minutes into the second quarter. McConnell with the layup opportunity. That is off the iron, no good. Dyson Daniels with it. Daniels coming around. Jumper, no good. Toppin with the rebound. Mathurin has it. Mathurin back over to McConnell. Mathurin once again has it. Dishes it over to Siakam. Siakam for the bucket. That is good. Pascal Siakam, 15 points. He brings the Pacers to within 14. 8:15 to play in the second quarter. Risage has it. Risage, deep 2, no good. Neesmith with the rebound. Back over to Siakam. Siakam finding Neesmith over to Mathurin. Mathurin for 3. Drain it! Pacers within 11. Risage has it. Back over to Risage. Risage hits it. Hawks up by 13, and look at this season here. Hawks are 6th in the league with the assists, averaging 27 a game. They have 12 already. Siakam with the 3. Levy now has 18 in this game. Dish it over to Risage. Risage. Give it over to Okongwu. Okongwu with the slam dunk. Look at the Hawks right now. Shooting 65%. The Pacers not bad either at 53%. Siakam. He's going to take the shot up. That is in! Siakam, 20 points in this game. Timeout, Hawks, 6:37 to play in the second. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. Coming out of the timeout here, 10-point lead for the Hawks. They lead at 49-39 as we have more substitutions you see for both teams. We'll get who's out on the court in a second. Johnson will inbound it to Risage. See Risage coming around. Dishing it over. That's a careless turnover. I think Risage could have taken a layup opportunity there. McConnell with it. You see McConnell coming around. Dishing it back over to Neesmith. Being guarded by Trae Young, I believe. No, who was it now? I know Siakam with it. Coming around. Siakam deep two. That is off the iron. Okongwu will grab the rebound. Richazé was guarding actually just a second ago. 16-10. See the Hawks out rebounding the Pacers 16-10. There's also that was almost another careless turnover by the Hawks. You see Trae Young with it. Dishing over to Daniels. Daniels for three. Nails it. Lead up to 13 again for the Hawks. McConnell dishing it over to Mathurin. Mathurin. Deep two. That is off the back iron. Richazé has it for the Hawks. Dyson Daniels. Dishing it over to Young. Young thought about the three for a second, but he passes it up. Now he's going to take the layup, and that is in. You see Trae Young averaging 29 points a game this season here. 5 minutes to play until halftime. Isaiah Jackson back into the game. Mathurin has it. 9 on the shot clock. Mathurin dishes it over to McConnell. 3 on the shot clock. McConnell deep two. That is in. TJ McConnell brings the Pacers to within 13. 4:35 to play until the halftime here. It has been all Hawks except for maybe the first part of the game when it was 2-0 Pacers. Richazé for three. He drains it, and the Hawks have matched their largest lead of the game at 16. And I believe this is like the third occasion that has happened. They have led by no more than by that margin. Mathurin for three. That is off the iron. Richazé with the rebound. 18-10 rebound edge in favor of the Hawks. Over to Okongwu. Dish it back over to Johnson to Trae Young. Young with the layup. That is good. 18-point lead for the Hawks. Trae Young has 11. We're going to take a timeout. 3:43 to play. Oh, and look at that. He's taking a bow. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. And we're coming out of timeout here. The Hawks leading it by 18 now, their largest lead. And as I mentioned before the timeout, as they were getting ready to head to the bench, you saw Trae Young giving that little bow. If anybody didn't realize it, that might be a little bit of an Easter egg, because that paid an homage to when he closed out the New York Knicks back in the 2021 playoffs, Game 5 in Madison Square Garden. And as he said, like in Broadway, you see Dyson Daniels with the layup. That is good. It's a 20-point lead. Richazé with the assist there. But how many people realize that was an homage to what he did in the 2021 first round series? You see Siakam for three, no good. When he said, yeah, in New York, they like to give a bow after every Broadway performance. Well, I thought I put up a great performance to do it, or on the lines of something like that. So that is, I think, a little Easter egg there. Richazé with the assist. He has 10 points right now. He's only shooting 4 or 5 in this game. But he's taking the shots when needed. 22-point lead for the Pacers, or for the Hawks, I should say. Siakam, 4-3, nails it. Siakam has 23 in this game. 23 of the 44 points scored by the Pacers. Pacers within 19 here as we're approaching 2 minutes to play until halftime. Porzingis is it over. That is off the iron, no good. Neesmith will grab the rebound. Back over to McConnell to Neesmith. Neesmith to Siakam. Siakam. There's the bucket right there. He has 25 points and the Pacers within 17. Richazé for three. That is off the iron. Nembhard will grab the rebound. Siakam. She'll back over to McConnell. Back over to Isaiah Jackson. To Siakam. Less than 5 on the shot clock. There's a deep three, or awkward three, I should say. Johnson will grab the rebound for the Hawks here. So we now have 1 minute to play here in the second quarter. Back over to Porzingis. Porzingis! He's going to go to the line as Isaiah Jackson called for the foul. That's the personal second team foul.
Shooting for Atlanta, Porzingis taking 2 shots.
Porzingis will take 2 shots here. 55.1 to play in the second quarter with the Hawks leading it by 17. They led by as many as 22. He will sink the first one. Again, if you're enjoying what you're watching, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do come out. And then within the next couple of weeks, this is going to be the only project I'll be working on until MLB The Show comes out, when I do basically doing this. But it might be a little bit of a longer because there's more games. See Isaiah Jackson dishing it back over to McConnell. Back to Nembhard. Nembhard for 3. Off the iron. Porzingis grabbing the rebound. Trae Young with it. Trae Young for 3. That is off the iron. Isaiah Jackson grabbing the rebound. Siakam with it. Still shot clock. Trailing by 19 here in the second quarter. And you see Nembhard. This is back over to Nesmith. Nesmith to Siakam. Siakam. There's a shot up. That is good. Shot clock turned off as there's under 4 seconds of play. Young for a deep 3. That is off the iron. And that will do it for the first half here. The Hawks have dominated all game. They lead 65-48 going to halftime. We're going to send you to the halftime report. See you in the second half. You're watching NBA 2K on VDub Productions.
Direct your attention to center court. And get ready for the fan half-court shot. Jump line. They're thinking about the shot. Let's hear it for our contestant.
And we are back to start the third quarter here. 65-48, Hawks on top. We look at Pascal Siakam. Even though his team is trailing by 17, he has 27 points. He has a game high right now. 27, I believe, of the 48 points. So he has accounted for over half of the team's point total right now in the first half. See McConnell taking the inbound here. Starting lineups out for both teams. But for confirmation, you see Young, Daniels, Porzingis, Richazé, and Johnson. Neesmith, oh, that's missed there. 7 on the shot clock. Neesmith has it again. 3 on the shot clock. Got to get it off. He will get it off. Will draw iron to avoid the shot clock violation, but doesn't really matter because the Hawks grabbed the rebound. Trae Young back to Porzingis. Porzingis has his way there in the lead up to 19 again. That is 10 points for Kristaps Porzingis on 4-4 shooting. Plus 15 out on the court. You look on the bottom ticker here. We're going to look at the All-Stars pretty soon, coming up in tomorrow's video with the voting there. Siakam with the bucket. He now has 29 in this game. Hawks shooting 66%, a very high efficiency right now, the 48%. Richazé has it, 4-3. He drains it. The lead up to 20 again. He had 10 in the first half, now make that 13. And he himself shooting 57% from the field. Siakam coming around. That is off the iron. Johnson will grab the rebound. You see Trae Young dishing over to Richazé. 29 points. Richazé, another bucket. He's starting to heat up. Matches the largest lead of the game at 22 points. As we are 2 minutes into the third quarter. It was 2-0 Pacers, as you see Nembhard for 3. Or was that Siakam? No, that was Nembhard for 3. I think Siakam got the assist. But I said it was 2-0 Pacers to start off. You see Dyson Daniels for 3, and he matches that 3 to put the Hawks up by 22 again. It's 2.5 into the third quarter. 75-53 Hawks. As I said, it was 2-0 Pacers, but it's been all Hawks since then. Siakam back to O'Connell. Siakam with it again. Being guarded by Jalen Johnson. 4 on the shot clock. Siakam, he misses that one. Johnson will grab the rebound. Trae Young dishes it over to Dyson Daniels. 25-14, a rebound edge for the Hawks in favor of the Hawks. Young for 3. That is off the back iron. Neesmith grabbing a rebound here. Nembhard. That's it over to Jackson. Jackson with the layup is good. Pacers within 20. Porzingis has it. Porzingis for 3. That is off the back iron. McConnell grabbing the rebound. McConnell back to Siakam. Trailing by 20. Siakam for 3. That is off the back iron. Porzingis will grab the rebound there. Trae Young has it now, crossing the half-court line. Young dishing it back over to Richazé. Back over to Richazé again. Johnson had it for a second. Dishing it over to Daniels. Daniels will miss that one. Siakam will grab the rebound. Neesmith. Over to Siakam. 10 on the shot clock. Siakam for 3. Off the back iron. Isaiah Jackson with the offensive rebound and the dunk. Worthy enough of the AT&T connected cam. Pacers within 18. Four and a half minutes into the third quarter. 18-point lead for the Hawks. Young. And there's a careless turnover there as the Pacers will get it again. We see that. There was a block right there earlier. That was actually Porzingis with that block. I believe the Pacers were able to get down and score on that same possession. But still good to acknowledge the block as well. McConnell has it for the Pacers. Trailing. Oh no, Jackson will miss it. And Hawks will get it. As you see, the Hawks have not had a single point in 2.5 minutes, but Richazé is going to make sure that drought comes to an end. Zachary Richazé. Wow, I can't believe it. He's been heating up in this game. He started heating up towards the end of the first quarter, but now this third quarter, he's definitely been a big part of the Hawks scoring. Oh, look at that again! Porzingis, another block! And that's a backcourt violation because it was not touched. Nobody else possessed that after that. Or did he go running back, inadvertently running back? Either way, it's a backcourt violation, and the Hawks will get it again. So Young with it, crossing the half-court line. Porzingis coming around. He will get the points himself. Trae Young with the assist. And the Hawks matching their largest lead at 22, and a timeout called by the Pacers. 6:20 to play in the third. We're going to take a timeout. You are watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. As we come out of timeout here, we look at the league leaders in the last 10 games for points scored. You got the Pacers and the Hawks right there at 4th and 5th. That is in the last 10 games. 6:20 to play here in the third quarter. It's a 22-point lead for the Pacers. 20 on the shot clock. Nesmith will inbound into McConnell. Over to Siakam. Siakam's having a really strong game. He'll shoot the three. That is off the iron. And I believe that is Nemard with the bucket there off that miss. Rissalge has it for the Hawks. Try saying his name 5 times fast. Porzingis. Over to Rissalge. Back over to Porzingis. 3 on the shot clock. He's going to get the shot up. That is off the iron. Nemhard will get the rebound. This is back over to Siakam. Back over to Nemhard. To Nesmith. Back to Nemhard. 5 on the shot clock. Back over to Nesmith for 3. Off the iron. And there is a loose ball foul called against Isaiah Jackson. That is his third. First team foul called against the Pacers. As we got some substitutions. Luke Kennard for sure coming into the game for Trae Young. And for the Pacers, that is Obi Toppin now into the game. As that is a miss there, Nemhard will get the rebound. So Obi Toppin, I believe, is in for Siakam, if I'm not mistaken. TJ McConnell with it, with his team trailing by 20 here. Under 5 to play in the third. Back over to Isaiah Jackson. Jackson back to Nemhard, to the Obi Toppin. To Nesmith. Nesmith for 3. That is off the iron. Porzingis grabbing the rebound. Luke Kennard has it for the Hawks. Over to Johnson. Johnson back to Porzingis. Porzingis with the slam dunk. That is 14 points for Kristaps Porzingis. And a lead up to 22 again for the Hawks. Again, they match their largest lead. Obi Toppin for 3. That is off the back iron. Dyson Daniels grabbing the rebound for the Hawks. You see Rissalge with it. Rissalge. There's a bucket there. 24-point lead for the Hawks. Timeout, Pacers. 3:56 to play in the third. We'll take one as well. You're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. And we are back. Coming out of timeout here, the Hawks leading it by 24, their largest lead of the game, as we got some substitutions now in for both teams coming out of the timeout. Huff coming into the game for Isaiah Jackson. In fact, he's going to inbound it to McConnell. Kennard still in the game for the Hawks. McConnell over to Nesmith. Nesmith for 3. Back off the back iron. Okongwu will get the rebound. You see Kennard's going to take it crossing the half-court line. Porzingis, I know, is still in. So is Rissalge. Porzingis coming through. Dishes over to Dyson Daniels. Over to Okongwu. Back over to Rissalge. 2 on the shot clock. He's got to get that shot up. That is off the back iron. McConnell will grab the rebound for the Pacers. Nesmith with it. Coming around with it. Dishing it back over to Toppin. Obi Toppin for three. Back off the back iron. Daniels with it. 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Richazé dishing over to Porzingis. Porzingis over to Kennard. And Luke Kennard with the layup. It's a 26-point lead for the Hawks. 26-point lead for the third best team in the Eastern Conference. Neesmith over to Toppin. Back over to Nembhard. 2.5 to play in the third quarter. Nembhard for three. Off the back iron. Okongwu will get the rebound as Richazé has it. He's coming around, dishing it. Oh no, that's going to be stolen by Neesmith. Neesmith over to McConnell for transition three. That is off the iron. But look at Obi Toppin with the dunk off the offensive rebound. Pacers within 24. So we got 2 minutes to play in the third. And the way things are looking like, it's going to be the final 14 minutes as Okongwu basically on an alley-oop opportunity, bringing the lead back up to 26 for the Hawks. This has not been a very close game at all. Yesterday's was very exciting. I mean, who knows how this fourth quarter will go. As you see, Nembhard for three. He ties it. Porzingis back over to Richazé. Richazé for three. That is off the iron. Obi Toppin grabbing the rebound. See Nembhard with it. Dishing it back over to McConnell. Minute to play here. McConnell under a minute to play in the third, I should say. Over to Huff. Huff. There's a bucket. That is off the iron. Okongwu will grab the rebound. Richazé has it. Almost an alley-oop attempt. That will not be, as you see that shot is missed. Nembhard will grab the rebound. Over to Obi Toppin. Back over to Nembhard here, and there is an offensive foul. That's an illegal screen called against Obi Toppin. Quinn Snyder just has that little blank stare as he saw as Porzingis is going to go to the bench. Shows Richazé. Trae Young checks back into the game. Alexander Walker into the game for the first time in the second half. Back over to Kennard. So you got Young and Kennard into the lineup as Guy has it. Back over to Alexander Walker. Okongwu. Guy will get the shot up. That is off the iron. 3 seconds to play in the third. Mathurin is just going to heave it off, and that is no good. We are at the end of the third quarter. The Hawks are still dominating this game. They lead at 87-64. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. We are back here, getting ready to start the fourth quarter in Indianapolis here. We look at the State Farm assist of the game. That goes to Porzingis on that alley-oop attempt. As Okongwu will inbound it to Trae Young to start the fourth quarter. With the Hawks leading by 23. As you see some of the stands emptying out here at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Jones, Shepard, Siakam, Mathurin, and Toppin into the lineup to start the fourth quarter for the Pacers. Siakam for three. He nails it. It's only a 20-point game. As I said, we had a crazy ending into regulation. They see Guy's coming around. That's his first 2 points, as I believe Kennard with the assist there. Lead up to 22 again. It was a 26-point lead for the Hawks. As I said, Siakam steps out of bounds. As we look at the All-Star race for the guards here, you got Giannis, Trae Young, and then Karl Anthony Towns, the top three for the... As I said, we're going to go over the All-Star voting in tomorrow's video. And don't forget, everybody, once this game is over with, we are not done yet. We still have player stats as well as the post-game ticker, injury report, and then what's on tap as we'll announce the next game, even though the next game will not be out until Thursday, which will be the first uploaded video of 2026. Siakam over to Mathurin. Mathurin with a slam dunk. It's back to a 20-point game again. Okongwu. Alexander Walker with it for the Hawks. He'll shoot the three. That is off the iron. Toppin will grab the rebound. Mathurin has it for the Pacers. Trailing by 20 here. It's approaching 10 to play here in the fourth. That is off the iron. Gee will grab the rebound. Luke Kennard back over to Alexander Walker. And there is a charging foul called against Alexander Walker. That is his first personal foul. Jalen Johnson coming back into the game for Gee. Since it's an offensive foul, does not get charged against a team foul. Shepard dishes it back over to Siakam. Siakam is having a hard time getting through. Dishes it over to Mathurin. Mathurin for three. Drain it! He nails it. And Pacers within 17 here. 9:20 to play here in the fourth. Okongwu. Kennard back over to Young. Trae Young with it. 8 on the shot clock. Now there's under 5 on the shot clock. Young, deep 2. Off the back iron. Siakam with the rebound. Obi Toppin. Coming through. Obi Toppin with a bucket. That is in, and we have a timeout called by the Hawks. The Pacers are within 15. 8:52 to play in the fourth. We'll take a timeout. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. All right, coming out of the timeout here. Hawks led by as many as 26 in the third quarter. They led by 23 to start the fourth. The Pacers have now cut the lead to within 15. As we are under 9 minutes to play as Okongwu inbounds it to Young. Trae Young for three. And he will answer this run with a three of his own. 92-74. The Hawks lead up to 18 again. See Siakam coming around. 9 on the shot clock. Siakam. That is off the iron. Johnson with the rebound. Kennard has it for the Hawks. Over to Alexander Walker. Okongwu with it. Young coming around. 5 on the shot clock. Trae Young. This is over to Alexander Walker. Walker for three. That is awkward, but Isaiah Jackson will grab the rebound for the Pacers. Obi Toppin. Back over to Isaiah Jackson. Jackson. That is in. Isaiah Jackson. He has 14 points in this game. All 14 of them in the paint. Pacers within 16. The Trae Young. Young, 7 on the shot clock. There's a three-point attempt by Trae Young off the back iron. Toppin with the rebound. Pascal Siakam coming around. Siakam with a jumper. That is in. Pacers within 14. We haven't seen it this close in a while. Okongwu has it. And there is a jump ball between Okongwu and I believe that is Nimard or... Yeah, it is Nimard. And Siakam, as the Pacers will win that jump ball. Obi Toppin coming around with it. He's going to get the shot up over Alexander Walker. No good. Johnson with the rebound. Kennard has it. Back over to Young. Dishes it out to Johnson. There's the three-point attempt by Kennard. No good. Isaiah Jackson with it. Shepard has it. Toppin dishes it back over to Siakam. Siakam, jumper. Good! Pacers within 12. As we're approaching the halfway point of the fourth quarter, the Hawks, as said, led by 23 to start the fourth quarter, led by as many as 26 in this game. Trae Young with it. All right, the Pacers are fighting back. Kennard for three. Off the rim. Toppin will grab the rebound. Shepard has it. Mathurin. This is over to Jackson. Jackson. Count it! A Kongu call for the shooting foul. That's his first personal. And we got substitutions coming in. A Kongu. Alexander Walker going to the bench. Is Isaiah Jackson. Nembhard, Neesmith, McConnell back into the game. Yeah, it was Jackson that had the... and that's a miss right there. The Jackson that had the jump ball. As you see, Dyson Daniels quickly comes down and makes sure the lead is back up to 12. (94-82), Hawks on top. Isaiah Jackson does beat Siakam. Siakam with the shot. That is going to fall out. Daniels will grab the rebound again. Richazé back over to Johnson. There's a bucket. McConnell has it over to Neesmith. Siakam. There's a three-point. That is off the iron. Porzingis with the rebound. Richazé has it for the Hawks. Up by 14. Looking to try to put this game away. Pacers had to within 10. Young. Alley-oop to Porzingis. Lead up to 16 again. Trae Young getting that assist with that off that dunk. Siakam. This is over to Jackson. Jackson's going to go to the line again as Kristaps Porzingis called for his foul. You see Quinn Snyder not really happy right now with that foul. Isaiah Jackson shooting 2 shots this time. He had a chance the last time to cut it to within single digits. Missed that shot, and the Hawks have been on a 6-0 run since then. Jackson will make the first one. Let's see here. And he'll make the second one. It's a 14-point lead for the Hawks as we're approaching 4 minutes to play here in the fourth. Porzingis coming around, back over to Dyson Daniels to Richazé. Richazé for three. In and out. Neesmith will get the rebound. McConnell. This is back over to Neesmith. Over to Jackson. This is over to Siakam. Siakam coming around. He gets a layup. That is in. 41 points for Pascal Siakam. And the Pacers within 12. There's a miss right there. Jackson will end up controlling it for the Pacers. McConnell over back to Isaiah Jackson and Nembhard. Nembhard back to Jackson. Jackson rejected by Kristaps Porzingis. That is the third block of the game for Porzingis. However, since it went out of bounds, Pacers will still retain possession. 3:14 to play, 8 on the shot clock. Jackson, he misses that one. Porzingis will grab the rebound. Richazé has it for the Hawks. 12-point lead for the Hawks here as we're approaching 3 minutes to play in the third. Young, deep shot for two. No good. Neesmith will grab the rebound. Nembhard. Coming around. Nembhard. That's in. Pacers within 10 again. Dyson Daniels has it. You see Trae Young coming around. Young. That is off the iron. Jackson grabbing the rebound. McConnell has it. Back over to Neesmith. Neesmith almost went out of bounds for a second. Jackson has it back over to Nembhard. Nembhard dishes it over to Siakam. Siakam. That's in. And the Pacers within 8. Pascal Siakam with 43. 20 of them in the paint as we are within 2 minutes into the game, left of this game. Young coming around. He'll make a very big bucket there. Hawks up by double digits again. The Hawks lead was 26 at one point in the third quarter. But you can see the Pacers, will it be too little too late? Who knows, but they have to get quick shots. This shit over to Nembhard. Nembhard. He's going to shoot the two. That is off the iron. Porzingis grabbing the rebound. Young with it. Trae Young coming around. Young. There's a huge bucket there and the lead up to 12 again. A minute 20 to play here in the fourth. 12-point lead for the Hawks. Siakam. That shot is no good. Trae Young has it here. A minute 10 to play here in the fourth. And there's Trae Young again. Trae Young has scored the last 6 points and trying to make sure that the Hawks pull this game, pull away from this game. Siakam coming around. The lead is within 12 again. 47 seconds to play. They can take their sweet time, the Hawks can, being up 104-92. Reece Auger has it. He's coming around, dish it over to Daniels. Young for three. That is off the iron. They got to get something quick here if they want to get back into this game. Neesmith, you got to get a shot up. Unless they're just content and just waving the white flag. See Isaiah Jackson with the bucket. It's not going to really matter, but you know what? Hats off to the Pacers, though. They were down by as many as 26. They cut it to within 8, but Trae Young scored 6 points to make sure that this game was not going to, they were not going to make a quick comeback. And that's going to do it here. The Hawks go into Indianapolis and walk away with a 104-94 win.
It's been a great night of basketball. Thanks for being here.
The Hawks will move to 29-22 on the season, and the Pacers will fall to 25-24. But stay tuned, we are not done yet. And it is time to look at the player stats. We always start off with the home team, win or lose. In this case, the Pacers were losers of this game, but not without a great effort by Pascal Siakam with 45 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Isaiah Jackson, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Andrew Nembhard, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Benedict Mathurin, 8 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, followed by Obi Toppin, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Cam Jones, 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. TJ McConnell, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Jay Huff, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Aaron Neesmith only had 6 points and 3 assists. Ben Shepard, 2 points and 1 assist. Quentin Jackson had no stats and only 3 minutes of play. He did take 1 shot, but didn't make it in. James Wiseman, Johnny Furphy. That's a funny name, Furphy. Or Furphy, or however you pronounce it. Yeah, Walker and Tony Bradley did not play for the Indiana Pacers. And now for the Atlanta Hawks. They were led by Trae Young, 20 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Dyson Daniels, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Zachary Risage, 19 points, 1 rebound, 7 assists. And you got Kristaps Porzingis, 16 points, 13 rebounds. He had a double-double in this game. 3 assists and 3 blocks. Luke Kennard, 11 points and 3 assists. Jalen Johnson, also a double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds. Look at that. That's 6 players in double figures. Onika Okongwu, 4.7 rebounds, 1 assist. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 3 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Mohamed Gee had 2 points and 1 rebound. Vit Krejci, no stats for him. And then you have Nafali Dante, Asa Newell, Kobe Buffkin, Nikola Jurcic, and Caleb Houston did not play for the Atlanta Hawks. And that was a look at your player statistics for this game. Time for the post-game ticker, brought to you by 2K Sports. And we start off with the remaining games played on Friday, January 21st, 2026. We start off in Charlotte where the Hornets upset the Spurs 131-128. Game that we just watched. The Hawks get their 29th win of the season, 104-94 winners over the Indiana Pacers. The Pelicans 115 and the 76ers 113. Timberwolves edge out the Memphis Grizzlies 110-109. We got the Rockets over the Mavericks 116-101. And now for the games played on Saturday, February 1st, 2026. We had the Celtics pulling off the upset over the Bucks 121-105. Spurs 132, Magic 117. The Nets upset the Pistons 120-113. The Bulls 119 and the Heat 104. The Raptors 124 and the Jazz 111. Light the beam, everybody. The Kings walk away with the 106-100 winners over the Washington Wizards in our nation's capital. The Lakers 123 and the Knicks 87. We got the Clippers 126 and the Jazz 125. Cavaliers 115. Trailblazers 113. Then we have the Thunder 152-102 winners over the Denver Nuggets. And I think I may have made a mistake. It said Saturday, February 1st when it was actually Sunday, February 1st, because these slate of games are now on Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Short slate of games, I can tell you that. With the Hornets 132, take that back. It's the Pelicans 135 and the Hornets 132. I misread that for a second. Pacers bounce back and win 123-107 over the Rockets. The Timberwolves actually win back-to-back games on my post-game ticker for the first time in a while. They win 115-97 over the Memphis Grizzlies. The Clippers 134 and the 76ers 92. And that is it for your post-game ticker. If your team won, congratulations. If not, there's always tomorrow. Or in this case, Thursday, because there is no actual gameplay tomorrow. We just have a short video, and I'll explain to that a little bit later. And it is now time to look at the injury report for the games played after February 2nd, 2025. We look at the Philadelphia 76ers here. We got Tyrese Maxey and Andre Drummond still out. Bucks are fully healthy. So are the Chicago Bulls. Cleveland Cavaliers are still without Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Max Struss. Jason Tatum still out for the Celtics. Lopez still out for the Clippers. Zach Edey still out for the Grizzlies. The Hawks are fully healthy. The Heat, of course, Terry Rozier III still out with that suspension. He's out indefinitely. Norman Powell and Pelle Larsson still out for the Heat. Hornets are fully healthy, so are the Jazz. The Kings are still without Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray. Knicks are still without OG Anunoby. Lakers without Austin Reeves. Wendell Carter Jr. back on the injured list for the Orlando Magic. Dallas Mavericks fully healthy. For the Nets, you got Michael Porter Jr., Noah Clowney still out, but Terrence Mann is recovering, though. For the so he should be back to action pretty soon. Nuggets are without Tim Hardaway Jr. Pacers, of course, we know Tyrese Halliburton out for the season, stemming from that injury last in the NBA Finals. Pelicans out, are fully healthy. Detroit Pistons are still without Karis LeVert and Jaden Ivey. Toronto Raptors fully healthy. Houston Rockets, we knew about the Van Fleet injury. Keldon Johnson still out for the Spurs. Suns are fully healthy. Oklahoma City Thunder are still without Jalen Williams and Luguentz Dort. Julius Randle and Mike Conley are out for the Timberwolves. We got Damian Lillard was out, and Denny Avdia will be out for the Portland Trail Blazers as well. Brandon Podziemski stay today now, but he's still out for the Golden State Warriors, and the Washington Wizards are fully healthy. And that is it for your injury report. Before I forget, I do want to remind everybody that we are now done with the week, and now we have the players of the week for the week of January 26th through February 1st. Eastern Conference Player of the Week goes to LaMelo Ball. He's back from injury, and he gets Eastern Conference Player of the Week for the Hornets. And then Victor Wembanyama will get the Western Conference Player of the Week from the Spurs. And since we are now done with the month of January, we're reminding you that tomorrow's video, which will be the final upload for 2025, we are going to go through the stats, standings, and award races, as well as the All-Star race voting, because we are close to the All-Star break. And when I go through the stats, it's going to be the top 10 for player statistics in the important categories, as well as the top 10 team statistics in those important categories as well. And reminding you, starting on Thursday, which will be an early upload, 10 a.m. Eastern, we will have the Chicago Bulls at the Milwaukee Bucks. That should be a fun one. Both teams are sitting in a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Both teams are looking to make a strong push towards the end of the season. But we are still within, I think, the couple of weeks of the All-Star break. And this game will be played on, scheduled calendar date will be February 2nd, 2026. That'll be Monday, February 2nd, 2026. So we are within the All-Star break coming up, guys. As I said, if I can keep on to this schedule, which I am hoping to, Sunday's game will be the last game before the All-Star break, and I will not give that out, of course, until the end of Saturday's game. And with that, I just want to remind everybody that coming up a little bit later today at 3 p.m. Eastern will be the 3 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern. Those will be the final two College Football 26 simulation videos for the quarterfinal playoff games. 3 p.m. Eastern will be the Rose Bowl featuring the 9-seed Alabama Crimson Tide and the number 1 overall seed, the Indiana Hoosiers. And then we'll have the Sugar Bowl at 7 p.m. Eastern. The number 6 seed, the Ole Miss Rebels, and the number 3 seed, Georgia Bulldogs. Ole Miss looking to try to avenge their only loss of the season. Georgia, though, wants to bounce back as they were one and done in the college football playoff last year in the quarterfinals. And that was the same bowl game they played in the Sugar Bowl. So they have a little bit of a edge themselves, a little bit of a chip on their shoulders themselves. And that will do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Don't forget to comment on this video and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do drop. And then also, I believe coming up in a little bit later this week, I will have more college football 26 content, and that will be my 28 team college football playoff, which is also in the quarterfinal stage. So I want to get those out because the real semifinal games are going to be coming out, are going to be played about a week or so from now, and I want to get We want to try to get those out. So we might have a little bit of delay as well to get the All-Star festivities out for this season playthrough project. And with that, I am done with this video. I want to remind everybody the final score of the game. The Atlanta Hawks 104, the Indiana Pacers 94. I am Vinny from VW Productions, and I am signing off.